Hi there. The Dungeon Master Roundtable video you're watching was live streamed on the Dicely DnD Twitch channel, and the music you'll hear in this video was created by Tabletop Audio. And now I'll let our guests introduce themselves.
Oh, hey, it's me, Ryan. I'm on the Dicely Play Dicely campaign on the Dicely DnD Twitch channel and the Dicely DnD YouTube channel. I also have my own YouTube channel, which is, as it says below, the Fantastic Fiend. And that's about it.
Hi, I'm Fred Wheeler. I run the How to D&D YouTube channel. I talk about Dungeons and Dragons or Death Stars and Droids, which is what I've just recently done. I will talk about other RPG stuff as well, DM, player, and I'm teaching online on YouTube. And yeah, that's me.
So this was kind of a last minute addition to our schedule that we had planned this evening. But are you guys aware that they dropped a trailer for the Dungeons and Dragons movie coming out next year?
Yeah.
We got I think it was about a minute and a half trailer, or it might have even been 2 minutes. 2 minutes, 15 seconds. And yeah, so we got I think we knew a bit, but now we've got some actual footage from this movie. Fred, do you want to take away? What are your thoughts on this first trailer that got dropped?
Well, I mean, let's get real. Trailers don't necessarily mean it's a good movie, and it doesn't mean it's going to be a bad movie. Because I remember watching the trailer drop for A Knight's Tale that had Queen rock music playing in the middle of a joust, and was thinking, "You've got to be kidding! It's not a bad movie, that." But so this this opens up. We've got rock music, and I don't know. I can't remember exactly the song. Is it Alice in Chains or something?
I think it was Zeppelin.
Zeppelin. So they've picked rock music from Zeppelin to play as as part of the trailer, which sort of suggests that maybe that might be in the movie, but there's no guarantee. Who knows? That seems to be the thing right nowadays. All movies have rock music. I'm not against it. It's fine. I don't really take my games that seriously. It obviously has a very jokey feel to it, and they're trying to have it sort of be fun. And accidentally we ended the world or something, sort of as a storyline behind this thing, which sounds very Dungeons and Dragons-y to me. Mistakes wrecking the world is how things go. We saw a black dragon, a mimic. I think the mimic scene is with Michelle. Is probably the one that I laughed the first time, but rewatching it, not really. There's an owlbear, and there's a gelatinous cube in a place that I was not expecting to see a gelatinous cube. So we've got some D&D monsters obviously there. I think they're trying to go with a comedy feel, but I don't really laugh, so that's a little bit of a worry. I mean, if you're trying to make a movie feel like it's comedic and funny, then the jokes have to actually land. And let's get real. Right now, if I had to compare this trailer and the laughs they tried to put on, impress on me, they're nothing like screaming goats from Thor: Love and Thunder. I mean, Thor: Love and Thunder's screaming goats, just, you can't compare with that. Every single time it came up, multiple times, I laughed my head off. Also, I cringed, but I still laughed. I couldn't help myself. Yeah. So it didn't do that. So maybe they needed Taika Waititi to actually make this thing, to actually get those laughs in, and a few screaming goats would have been helpful during the trailer. Visuals look impressive. I think it looks very much like a Thieves buddy story to me. I think it's hard to know where this movie's going to go, because trailers don't usually necessarily... Look, when we looked at the Suicide Squad, that trailer looked really impressive, and then you watch the movie and you're like, oh my god, you really? So that didn't work for me. So I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm glad that we've got some idea of what's coming.
Ryan, you want to go?
Certainly. Give me just 2 seconds while I IMDb who's involved. Excuse me.
Well, I mean, I can go if...
Go ahead.
All right. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely following a trend of, like, these... It feels like, in the same realm as, like, a Marvel film. It's that hero fantasy-ish. And then, of course, like, all these trailers, they're including that rock music like you've touched on already. I mean, it looks fun. I don't think we're gonna get anything of substance from this movie. It's kind of like what a lot of Hollywood's putting out these days. You know, it's a fun ride, but is it gonna be the biggest cinematic thing to come out? No, probably not. While I was watching this trailer, though, like all those monsters that got shown, I was like, cool. But I hope there's more of that, because if that's all we get out of monsters is what's already in this trailer, and a Displacer Beast also got thrown into that trailer as well, then I'll be a little bit disappointed, because immediately I don't particularly care about the characters, which it seems our party is comprised of a bard, a barbarian, druid, sorcerer, and I'm missing one of them. Paladin. There was a paladin. Which it's fun to kind of like find the references to the game, and I think that's what a lot of this movie's going to have to be. I think it looks like the big antagonist faction's going to be the Red Wizards of Thay. I don't know if they're playing specifically into the Forgotten Realms setting, but I felt like based on costume, I was like, that's what I imagine that the antagonist group is going to be. Do I have much to say about the movie? I'm going to go see it. Am I excited? Not particularly. I'm going to play D&D until it comes out, because I've got my own stories I'm invested in. And yeah, I mean, we a few people in our Discord group here, they've been throwing in ideas like, oh, they should have this in the movie, you know, like we got to have a scene where like break the fourth wall, all the actors are players at the table. And I don't know what everybody's looking for in this, whether it's to stay in universe, is this a D&D game, or is this a fantasy story within a like an all-in universe setting, I guess. But yeah, I'm gonna see it. That's pretty much what it comes down to. Ryan, did that give you enough time to IMDb?
It gave me more than enough time, and honestly, you both together combined have basically said almost everything I want to say. Literally, I think I only have to add. So I did the IMDb quick little read over. I don't, in terms of like directors, I don't really recognize their names. They're up and comers, which is great. I'm glad that up and comers are getting a chance to do a big budget film. That is fun. However, it's very risky, as obviously they're up and comers. So lots of money could just go whoosh down the drain, or lots of money could be well spent on a creative mind. Who knows? But also, I think Dungeons and Dragons, if you were to tell a story of Dungeons and Dragons, I think it'd be better served in the format of a series, like a mini series or a full-fledged TV series, depending on the scale of the story you're trying to tell. The only thing I'm really concerned with is that, like, due to Lord of the Rings was in 3 parts, you know? There's a lot to learn when you're delving into fantasy, and trying to tell a genuine story in that, I feel like it's going to be difficult. So just going into it, I feel like it's going to be just a fun romp, and I'm okay with that. But, you know, it's just at the end of the day, like, if I were a showrunner, I would try to make it a little more than that. But at the end of the day, the money is where money talks. Money is what makes things happen. And I just don't think I don't think Hollywood's willing to put out enough money to make it a full-fledged series. And maybe this is a test run, but hopefully not, because if this goes poorly, then goodbye any good live-action D&D show ever. So, you know, so, pre-07s in the chat, and big rip. That's all I have to say.
You know, I find it funny on that note. This is going to be technically shorter than a lot of one-shot experiences.
Yeah.
This is a D&D one-shot. Well,
D&D, a lot of one-shots come from... That's true, actually. D&D one-shots, a lot of the time is spent in combat, because combat takes a while. But that's true. I guess, you know, they could do that.
So I was just thinking back to the announcements they've said around this movie. They've got 4 TV series in development. One, I understand, is, yes, it's been going on for years, well before the pandemic. Some, I think, are live and some are cartoon, but there's definitely some live ones. And I understand that one of them is close to sort of getting a solid script for the series. So yeah, I think that's they've been developing quite a lot of stuff in the background. So this movie is just probably going to be the spearhead, hopefully, for whatever follows. I don't know what we're going to get in the TV series. I think the movie itself, whatever happens, I think it'll be, because it's Hasbro essentially. I think we're going to get like Transformers. Do you guys remember the first Transformers movie? I think what we're getting is Dungeons and Dragons Transformers. I think that's what we're looking at. Yeah,
that's fair.
And I also think too, there's got to be some pretty powerful mage in there, because I'm sure, it only just occurred to me, it looked like the time stop spell is incorporated in there, because all of the characters wound up frozen in time, unless of course they're doing like a bullet time scene where somebody's doing something very fast and you want to slow it all down so you can see it all. But I think there might be time stop in there. That means a 9th level spell. That means that somebody can kick some butt. And I was just curious, are any of you terrified of Hugh Grant as a villain? Because I'm finding it very hard. I thought Hugh Grant was the romantic love interest, and certainly not the comical sort of lost person, or I don't know what, but I never kind of considered Hugh Grant a villain.
I haven't seen him in that role, but as somebody who's acted before and been in the industry a while, like, I don't like to typecast people. I hate that, because I love being surprised, like, it's just one of those things where somebody can, you're an actor, you can play whatever role's given to you on paper, read a script and enjoy it and feel sort of something that inspires you within the character. I think you should play it.
I myself, I'm so bad with actors, like, and same with music too, like a band. Do I know any of the band members? Not really.
I'm terrible.
So I can't even think off the top of my head a movie Hugh Grant has been in. But apparently, based off of a piece of promo and Wizards of the Coast symbols from D&D, apparently his character's a rogue, if we're talking in the class sense.
That would fit. I could see Hugh Grant as a rogue, even with like just the roles that he's played. Even if we were to typecast him as the suave romantic, I feel like that would be good for a rogue.
I'm glad you brought up the time stop there too, because I feel like it's likely going to be that spell as opposed to bullet time. Because if there's a wizard and you want to showcase a spell, I feel like time stop is like a must use. Like that denotes this is a powerful magic user. Also, I am totally into the fat dragon. Anybody else totally into the fat dragon at the end of the trailer?
Sign me up for fat dragons, dude. We need more fat dragons. I want to play in a D&D campaign where like there is just the most gluttonous dragon in the world with its horde, and it's just happy. It's got a cult of people that are willingly getting themselves eaten to feed their master.
Oh.
Sign me up. Just a cult of gluttonous dragon worshippers. Hell yeah. They like eat a lot of food. They like have a big feast, and then they're like, get eaten by the master.
Sounds like the Nidhogg.
Yeah, sign me up. I would love that. That's so awful yet hilarious in a very wacky, weird way. Sign me up for that.
I mean, fat dragons don't mean heavy. It could be just, might have like a stomach complaint, just full of gas.
True.
That's how it propels itself. It's jet-propelled dragon. It just farts, and that's what actually propels it forward. And the wings are just for steering, like the Never-Ending Story. One of those, was it the second one or third one? I can't remember. But I'm sure that those dragons were jet-propelled and weren't actually, because one of them, one didn't even have wings, so he must have been farting to actually get around there. Or it's magic, I guess. Magic
dude.
Makes sense.
You're gonna love what I did with Flumps, man.
Uh-oh. But
good. I'm glad to hear.
Oh, man.
Regardless
let's remind everybody that Michael Keaton was an actor that was very well known for doing comedy roles, and he did Batman very well. So I suppose it is, to be fair, would Would Hugh Grant be in the same line as the likes of Michael Keaton? I kind of feel like he probably is. So, yeah, maybe it's not going to be an issue for him at all.
As far as I know, I haven't seen Hugh Grant in anything in a while. So, like, maybe he's trained a lot, and maybe he's, like, sort of done a lot of work that maybe was just on stage where he got to experiment a lot and figure some stuff out about being a baddie. Who knows? Could be fun.
Are there any closing remarks on our thoughts about the Dungeons & Dragons Honor Amongst Thieves trailer?
I hope it's good. For the future of D&D film, I hope it's good. Because if it's bad, boy, is that going to do no favors. And we've already got a lot of bad D&D movies in the past. So let's please, if your jokes don't land, make sure those writers never work again.
Damn.
If you are in charge of writing a film that is supposed to be funny and you're getting paid millions of dollars to do so, you better make me laugh, asshole.
It's definitely one of those projects where, people are going to go out and see this, and it's going to be another surge of people getting into the hobby. So, hopefully, it does more good than harm, and hopefully doesn't get people's expectations up in the wrong way about what Dungeons & Dragons actually is. But, we'll see that data after the movie comes out.
Good luck, film team. Good luck.
But, and again, I'm going to go see it. So, there we are. And those were our thoughts on the recent release of the trailer for the Dungeons & Dragons movie, Honor Amongst Thieves. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this movie trailer, so be sure to leave those in the comments below, and check out the channels of both of our guests that were here in this video. You can find the links to their channels in the description below. And until next time, may you always play Dicely.